Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for being here. It's really cold, and I usually don't go anywhere. I don't have to be when it's cold, so I really appreciate you all being here. It's really good to be here with you today. Like Allison said, I was lucky enough to find, or really be led to by what had to have been divine intervention, be led to the Truth Center in my first week at Elon. And in the time I've been here, I've been to many Newman Lumens. Even when they were only online, I still loved logging in and watching them. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about what I would say at my own, and now here I am. And I'm really grateful to be led by a theme, although when I first heard this theme, I wasn't really sure what I was going to say about dreaming. Maybe that I used to get in trouble for daydreaming on the corner of the soccer field and picking flowers while I was supposed to be playing with other 4-year-olds. I was a creative child, and I like to think that I'm growing into a creative adult, but I have always relied on concrete answers and plans and assurance that I can fully understand something or everything. I dreamed a lot, but if my dreams were big enough to disappoint me, then I couldn't rely on them to get me anywhere. For example, one of my first dreams was to be the first female Supreme Court justice. By the time I dreamed that, Sandra Day O'Connor, who was the first female Supreme Court justice, had already retired from the Supreme Court. And just for the record, I don't really dream of being the first female anything now, not because representation doesn't matter, but just that it's not my personal dream that glass ceilings still exist so that I can break them. Before I was grounded in this dream, or this theme of dreaming, in thinking about what I might say at Newman Lumen, I thought about what I have appreciated hearing from others. I love hearing stories, like here or anywhere, like could sit at the foot of a rocking chair for hours, love hearing stories. And I like hearing about turning point moments in people's lives when they found clarity. And I've been through some big changes, moves, friendships ending, relationships ending, beginning, and ending, beginning. And I've been a college student during all of this. And this place, one that I've become significantly attached to, has helped me make meaning out of a lot of that and a lot of changes. But because I don't have a bird's eye view of the path I'm on, I don't know if I'm in the middle of changing right now, and I can't identify the turning point moments in my life just yet. And anyway, I'm here to talk about dreams, the future. So what I do know about dreams and about myself is that I need things to hold on to. So sometimes I need people who recognize my dreams and hold on to them with me, sometimes for me, or just plop them right in the middle of my path so I can't miss them. So I want to share with you a story that I would never have come across if it weren't for the deeply meaningful interfaith work that I've been able to engage in here at the Truth Center, including incredible opportunities, even if cut short by a pandemic, to learn about indigenous spiritual traditions. I want to tell you about dream catchers, as in the woven pieces of art. Dream catchers are from the indigenous North American Ojibwe tradition, and traditionally called espikeshi, which is the inanimate form of the Ojibwe word for spider. They come from a legend about the Spider Woman. Spider Woman is important to the Ojibwe people because she helped bring Grandfather Sun, who along with Mother Earth helps create life, back to the people. And a long time ago, in the ancient world, all of the clans of the Ojibwe nation lived in one place, Turtle Island. And here, Spider Woman could watch over the people of this land. And the legend says that if you're awake before dawn, as you should be, you can see her building her special lodge, which captures the sunlight in the morning dew. Eventually, the clans dispersed to the 4 corners of North America in order to fulfill a prophecy. And as they spread out, it became harder for Spider Woman to look over all of her people. So mothers and grandmothers began to weave the circular webs from willow hoops and sinew or cordage from plants and hang them above cradles for their children. The web, resembling the lodge of the Spider Woman, was meant to help her find a home there. The circular shape represents how the sun moves across the sky, which Spider Woman helped bring back to the people. These are the dream catchers, and they are used to do exactly what their name entails. They catch all the dreams of the child, filtering out the bad ones through the small hole in the center and passing the good thoughts and dreams down to the child. And when the sun shines in the morning, the bad dreams perish. And just for the record, some histories of them say that the woven parts of the dream catcher catch the bad dreams and the good ones fall through the hole in the middle to the sleeping person below. But whichever way around it is, the general idea is the same. There is something that knows what is good or bad, and it holds on to the good for you. The first people to act as dream catchers for me were definitely my family, specifically my parents and grandparents. They did everything they could, and still do, to make sure that I could dream as big as possible, believing in a good future for me before they knew what it would be. The soccer that I mentioned earlier was really a secondary hobby, and it did not last long, not really a contact sport person, but they did put me in dance classes about as soon as I could walk because I had more energy than they knew what to do with. And as I've grown up, I realized that those endless hours of driving me to dance classes and putting my hair in a bun and sitting through every recital, rehearsal, and performance were just maybe not the highlight of my parents' lives, but they would never let me know that. My grandmother took me to the Nutcracker every December and encouraged me to dream that I could be up there too. And I was only in the Nutcracker a couple of times because December is really busy when your parents are pastors. But I think my grandmother believed I could still be a ballerina until it was long decided that was not my path. Like, enrolled as a political science major, still thought I could be a ballerina. My grandparents also used to make me, not make me, memorize poems, or once even the preamble to the Constitution, and recite them for them at my next visit because they wanted me to one day be able to confidently stand in front of others and speak with all of the wisdom that they dreamed I might one day have. This is not to say that I always lived up to my parents' dreams. Like, I'm sure they would prefer me to be a different kind of big sister sometimes. But my parents and family have consistently caught the good things around me and made sure that I could see them. When I came to Elon, I wasn't sure what my dreams were. I was here. I was mostly excited to be here, although my first year was a lot of learning that I loved my home more than I thought I did when I left. What pushed me through that first year, and a lot of time since, were the people who started believing in me. When I interviewed for my first job here at the Truett Center, I accepted the job at the end of the interview, and then I left and wondered what I had gotten myself into. I was now, not knowing really anyone on campus, supposed to plan a weekly dinner, cook for it, lead an interfaith conversation, and get people to come to it. But I was immediately met with support from Shane, the Jans, and Joel. And ever since then, I've been met by support from everyone else who works here. But those four would come in and they would sit with me while I cooked in the kitchen. They would tell me how they thought about the world, and most importantly, they gave me the room to mess up. And I hadn't given myself a lot of that room before. Also, in my first semester, my RA recommended me for a leadership retreat where I met folks from the Center for Leadership. Some of these people encouraged me to apply to be a leadership fellow laterally, and I was accepted. I'm not sure would I have ever found that program or had the courage to apply on my own, but there were people who saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself, and they pushed it forward. As a leadership fellow, it would not be an exaggeration to say I've had experiences that have changed my life and everything I want to do with my life. But one of those things was being paired with a mentor at SJ who showed me what deep care for others looks like through sharing the things she was so passionate about. She is still one of my closest friends. Having others around me in the Fellows Program, at the Truett Center, and with the friendships I was growing, encouraged me to take on other leadership positions, including becoming an RA and agreeing to direct the Ripple Conference as an interfaith intern. When others empowered my leadership, I was able to see my strengths and believe in myself enough to do things that I would never have dreamed of doing when I showed up to move-in day at 18, or even dreamed of doing a year ago. The people who have been my dream catchers have helped me take my own dreams and make them into more concrete points that I could lay like a stepping stone path in front of me. But here is the ending of the story about the Ojibwe dream catchers. They are made to break. Eventually, the willow hoop dries out and the tension of the web snaps and the dream catcher collapses in on itself. But it is meant to do this as the child grows up because youth is temporary. Dream catchers made for adults are made of sturdier materials, but by the time you're an adult, you're meant to weave your own dream catcher. Realizing how much I've relied on others is scary to even admit, but so is thinking about taking my future into my own hands and being the only one who can decide what's next. I am running out of dreams to inherit. I am dreaming for myself and for others now. I have dreams for my sister as she goes to college next year, that she will find a community that will sustain her like mine has. I have dreams for my friends, that we will not lose each other in whatever life holds next. I have dreams for my hometown, the whole southeastern United States, that those silenced by corrupt political structures will be liberated, and that justice for all will become a reality. I am now driven by my belief that we could all be better, and we are all worth the work of trying. Last February, during one of the virtual sessions of the Ripple Conference, Olivia Elder, who works for a policy institute, shared her vision for a reformed criminal justice system driven by community, love, and reconciliation. She challenged us to think outside the bounds of what we know to be true right now, because just because something is does not mean it always must be. In fact, everything that is was once someone's dream, so we can dream for better. Dreaming is not always picking flowers on the soccer field. Sometimes it is a heavy task to pick up your dreams every day, weave them around you, and let the bad things fall away as the sun rises. But I think it is what we're called to do, to dream for one another, for the places we are in, and to believe it can all be better. So hold on to the good, and thank you for being part of the place that has held on to mine. Thanks.